Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 1 of the anime series Show by Rock. And this was a series that really caught my attention when I first saw the PV, and there were a couple of different PVs. Some of them really wowed me and had me thinking I want to really check out this series. And a couple of the other ones, the animation was different, and I didn't really like what I was seeing. And I didn't exactly know what to make of, what the show was going to be essentially until finally sitting down and watching this first episode, and I had a lot of fun with it. And it's got a really intriguing marriage of 2D and 3D animation. I mean, there are whole chunks of the episode that are all, sort of 3D, CG animated, with these very cat-like and animal-like characters and everything, and I guess it's like Music World or Sound World or whatever it's called, this sort of offshoot of the real world. And that's even arguable. We're basically following around the main character, Cian, who, she's sort of a really nerdy, geeky, very shy girl in school. And she's trying to work up the courage to become part of, I guess it's a music club, like a sort of a band group or something. And it's already so late in the semester, so she feels like it'll be kind of outlandish to ask to join now and put in an application and such. She should have done so. She's kind of, scolding herself. She should have done so when the semester began and all this kind of stuff. And she's rocking out in the halls and having these daydreams of being like a big musician and rock star and all this kind of stuff. She really has a talent. I mean, we see her later in her own bedroom, strumming the guitar and singing. So she does have a talent, and to psych herself up and kind of, let her hair down, so to speak, let her nerves, lay to rest and everything, she's a gamer, and she starts playing this music-based, I guess, sort of puzzle game or whatever it is. And suddenly she sees this vision of these like dark red eyes, and there's this evil laughter, and she's seemingly pulled through this portal into this other world, this sound dimension or whatever it's supposed to be called. And it's all neon and almost looks kind of like there's a Tron aesthetic to the entire appearance of this particular realm, if you will. And her appearance has changed, the animation has changed, she's no longer just the sort of typical anime girl, and the characterization really kind of reminds me of Tomoko Karoki from Watamote, as you can see over here. Very kind of similar, not quite as pervy as the character, but she's got that nervousness and, her entire transformation in this sort of realm. This is the CG sequence where we see she becomes like a sort of cat, cat girl or whatever. And there's this boy band trio who's putting on a concert. She's, flying into this realm basically buck naked, as she's been transported, and you're not sure how exactly this has happened, what the reasoning behind it is, but the show is interrupted by this thing they call the Dark Monster. It's kind of like a purple haze-ridden black skeletal monster or giant, and it's got like a speaker in its belly, speakers in its hands and stuff like that, and it's trying to trounce this trio of boy musicians. And she's watching them in awe at first, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, as they're becoming jeopardized, this sentient guitar, this, I forget what it's called, Strawberry Heart or something like that, just appears before her and starts ordering her, play, you have to save them, and you're the only one who can, and all this stuff. There are these sort of melodic crystals that I guess this dark monsters trying to siphon out of them or take away from them, whatever it is. And if it succeeds, it can turn them into dark monsters, I guess sort of music-less or soulless creatures, something to that effect. And so Cian, becomes sort of the heroine of the episode because she is musically inclined, she's utilizing this guitar, and boom, she defeats this monster. Lo and behold, we have these, other three girls who are watching this unfold, and their apparent band manager, this sort of Cadbury egg on legs, if you will, Maple or something he's called. And they're trying to, hire her, sign her to their little sort of agency or whatever, BRR, this trio of girls makes up a girl band called Plasmagica. And you have Moa, who is this really, I love her little speech impediment, very much like the Udachi character from Kantai collection, except rather than poi, she says Pieru all the time, like after every sentence, every other word. And that's adorable. She's like the drummer of this Plasmagica group. You have Choo Choo, and then you have Rettore, and apparently there's like this buxom maid, Angelica, who whenever, you know, the maple egg dude is kind of like getting overzealous, she kind of pulls him into a back room in this episode, does some sort of S&M sound effects, and then he's all fine, and, you know, he's back to normal, or he's back in control, whatever it is. And it just seems like absurd. It seems hilarious. I love the emphasis on music. Music is the fire of my soul when I'm not being an anime fan, you know, otaku and all that stuff. It's music that really is just a passion in my life, and I like the idea of that's the case for this Cian character, and she's been transported to this alternate dimension or world, or whatever you want to call it. We do see sort of a la, you know, Inspector Gadget, the Dr. Claw villain who pulled her into this dimension. He's having a chat with this, air quotes, king, who's supposed to be concocting music, and he's contracted by this guy's particular agency. He has to produce, you know, a new album every year, or he'll be fined. And we find out this king dude is like, you know, he's only seen in silhouette, and he's completely like asleep. He's completely ignoring this evil, ominous figure, who's looking, I guess, to try to control Cian or pull her over to their side. It's this character who's responsible, as I say, for pulling her into this dimension to begin with. And just as she's mulling over, you know, should she or shouldn't she sign up with this BRR agency, you have this other boy group, you know, that's, I guess, managed by BRR, show up at the tail end, and cliffhanger, it'll be continued in the next episode. But it's crazy, and I have to admit, as I say, when I was seeing the PVs and they were showcasing some of the different animation styles that were going to be going into the show, kind of reminded me of like a Fooly Cooly, with all the different sort of animation styles going on at once with this absurdist sort of story. But I thought I would really be put off by it, and I had the opposite reaction. I was really well impressed with the marriage and sort of the transformations, you know, basically cascading from the 2D to the CG, you know, fully 3D segments with the cat characters and everything. I really liked it. I thought it really balanced out well, and it was very intriguing how they did all that, and I'm going to be interested to see, at least following on to the next episode, if this is sort of par for the course, if this is how they're going to be doing every episode, or not. You know, I can't wait to see exactly what's going to be happening, and, you know, it just seems like a fun, rollicking time if you like music, especially J-pop and that kind of stuff, J-rock and everything, and you like kooky characters. I mean, so far, as a first episode goes, this one has it all along those lines, and so it's a curiosity. It seems like just, you know, balls to the wall fun, funny, and that kind of thing. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you've seen Show by Rock episode 1, or if you're going to be checking it out, what you thought of it if you have seen it, and what you think of it after the fact if you're giving it a look. And you know, anything goes in the comments. Tell me why you're probably not going to be looking at it, if that's your particular, you know, way of handling it. So otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Rock!